Hello everybody, how's your Thursday morning going? Let me tell you about the government considering scrapping controversial mandatory jabs for NHS staff, with a plan now under review. But it's left many NHS workers unsure if they'll lose their jobs if they don't get vaccinated. Joining us now is Mariah Banton, a physio student who has decided not to get the COVID vaccine. Hi Mariah, thank you for joining us. First of all, why don't you want the vaccine?
Well, there's many reasons why I don't want the vaccine. I think there isn't enough data for myself so far to get it. Also, I did an antibody test myself, so I know that I've got all the antibodies to protect myself. So after, considering all the information I've had, I've decided that for me, it's probably not the best thing to do right now.
What about other people that you come into contact with? Do we not have a social responsibility to look after all of us?
Yeah, 100%. I do believe that, especially as healthcare workers, and we are taught that. But we're also taught that everyone has the right to choose, and there's it's our bodies, and that we need to make a decision for ourselves. For myself, if I love people, I love healthcare, and I really love helping people. And if I felt like I was a harm to them, I wouldn't do it. But knowing that I've got antibodies, knowing that I know I'm healthy and that I'm testing and I'm wearing PPE, I don't really see how I would be that much harm to people in the healthcare setting.
But you could, am I right in saying you could actually pass on COVID-19 to someone else if you're not vaccinated? Is that not right?
Well, it's the same as vaccinated people. In my class, there's probably 2 of us that are not vaccinated and the rest are vaccinated. Every single one of them last time had COVID and they were on placements, where me and my other colleague who are not vaccinated, we didn't get COVID. So for me, when I was looking at that and thinking, well, they've all got COVID, they all could pass it on, I don't really see the difference between me and them.
Or I'm guessing because your students, all young, all healthy, even if they did get COVID, they managed to recover from it quite quickly, please God. But what about if you come into contact with somebody who's older, or somebody who's frail, or somebody who's had to shelter but then is going out on the tube for an appointment that they have to keep? What about them?
So there's always risks with everything. I've personally had quite a lot of people that have gone into hospital and ended up dying of hospital-borne diseases. It sounds really a little bit cutthroat, but it's quite normal to go into a hospital, especially when you're old and you're frail. And that's why they try to get you out of hospital as quickly as possible, because there are hospital-borne diseases there. But for myself, if I'm testing and I know I don't have COVID and I'm going in, I'm healthy, and I've got antibodies, then I wouldn't be any more harmed than someone that is vaccinated.
I didn't quite understand what you were saying there. I'm being a bit stupid. It's Thursday morning, it's too early. What are you saying about elderly people going into hospital? So that they're pretty frail anyway, so coming into contact with
in healthcare, when you've got someone that's frail coming into hospital, you do want to get them out as soon as you can, because there are hospital-borne diseases. That's why there's pneumonia and stuff in hospitals. So in general, healthcare, we've always tried to make sure, they get out so that they are safe and they are healthy, because, hospitals are places where people can catch things. But when you are talking about, for me, myself, am I at harm to them? Am I at risk to them? It's the same thing. I'm at the same risk to them as an unvaccinated person or a vaccinated person, because if I'm testing and I do not have it, then I can't pass it on to them. And it's the same with someone that's vaccinated. If they even have the vaccine, if they have it, if they get COVID, they're still going to pass it on to people. And the problem that I'm seeing is people that are vaccinated suddenly think, oh, okay, I'm vaccinated now, so that makes me safer. But it doesn't. It still means that they need to test. It still means that they need to wear PPE. It still means they can pass it on to people. So there isn't much difference.
But do you accept that there's less chance of passing it on if you have been vaccinated?
I've looked at data, I've looked at the science and everything like that, and that is a possibility. To be fair, I haven't looked into it enough to know the percentage of me passing it on or someone else passing it on. But the fact is, if I don't have it, or if I have the antibodies, we're taking away from the fact that most people have had COVID and they have antibodies. Are we saying that the vaccination is now better than what our body naturally does? That's the in healthcare, we always try to do the least invasive treatment for people. So if someone's got antibodies, why would we then inject them with something that's more invasive? That is generally not what healthcare does.
To protect other people that they might be sat next to on the tube who might be, I don't know, frail or vulnerable?
Well, if someone is, for example, frail and vulnerable, they could get COVID from a vaccinated person. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I understand what you're
but
saying.
less likely to, aren't they?
The likelihood, I don't know the percentages of everything, but I think the main problem, the main thing that we're seeing that people are upset about is the fact that we care about people so much as healthcare workers that we want them to live in a world where they can pick and choose what treatments they get. Every day people come into healthcare and they say, I don't want a treatment, even though it could save their lives or something, but that's their choice. And I respect that. And I love that person regardless of what they choose to do. But we're living in a society now where we're discriminating against people and we're acting quite harshly towards people that have made a decision about their body. And that's something that I don't stand for, that I don't think that's right.
Okay. It's good to talk to you. I'm so sorry we're out of time.
That's all right.
Let's chat again soon. Thanks very much for taking the time to join us this morning. Thank you.
That's okay. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Coming up after the break, talking more about the energy crisis challenges with Labour. Stay tuned.